Good evening, Three Fires Council. We got a great program for you tonight. First of all, my name's Brian Kilmer. I am the District Commissioner for Ottawa District. So tonight we're going to cover three key topics. The first one will be day camps. The second will be membership update. And the third will get into fundraising. We'll talk most of the roundtable about fundraising. And with that, there is a Q&A box or a comment box. So if you have any questions, please put a question in the Q&A and we'll make sure we address it. And with that, I will hand it over to Ron to give a COVID-19 update.
All right, thanks, Brian. Ron Wenzel, Director of Field Service for the Council. You've probably gotten sick of seeing my face here the last couple of months giving these COVID-19 updates, but this month I feel like I actually have some good news. And the good news is we're finally starting to reopen. 2 weeks ago, we reopened our office. Our service center, our scout shops are reopening, and the camps are getting set to reopen as well. So we're really excited about that. We obviously are excited that you can go back to the scout shops now in person, pick up any advancements and supplies and all the good things that that you've been missing for any courts of honors or plans that you have for summer. Make sure that you check our website still. We still are putting up the precautions and that we've put in place for the scout shops and any of the additional guidance that we need to do. Another great thing is that we can finally start to have in-person meetings, but the state of Illinois, again, remember their guidance, smaller groups. So patrols, dens is what we're looking at. And we really want to encourage everyone, as people are comfortable, to try to start to get back together, reconnect with your families over the summer as well. All larger council and district activities will continue to be in a virtual environment or online platforms, just like our roundtables have been in the last 3 months. And then we continue to move forward with plans for day camps, family camps, resident camps, and camps up at Camp Freeland Leslie. We've obviously pushed those actives the last couple of months. We'll start those in July, but we're looking forward to having camp. We will continue to communicate any changes to the units that are signed up for camp and have started to do some online meetings to prepare units for camp as well. We've moved our digital resources page that we've told you about the last couple of months and all updates on the council's reopening to the TFC COVID-19 updates page, which you can still find on the council webpage. If you go to the main page at threefirescouncil.org, you'll see a link there and you can just click on that. It'll give you all the information about our reopening, guidance, camp updates, everything that you'll need to as we come out of this stay-at-home order. Units and families will find additional resources there for scouting at home and all the precautions the council is taking to reopen our service center, scout shops, and our camps. Three Fires Council will continue to update and distribute additional merit badge information for online platforms as well as programs for Cub Scouts, including our backyard day camp option for families that you'll hear about here shortly, and anything else that we're planning to do over the summer. Now, we have had a couple of our units that have been very successful with virtual meetings and virtual activities over this time. And this month at Roundtable, we're venturing out, trying to get more of our, hear from more of our units, and we'll have them as remote presenters. So we are excited to have two presenters tonight. Tommy Turiff from PAC 988, we're going to hear from him on some of the successes they've had. And then Eric Grant from PAC 157. So bear with us as we try to do this. So I think we have Tommy all ready to go. And then with Eric, I think we're going to have him on the phone, but we do have slides that we'll run through for them. So we want you to hear from them right now.
Okay, can everybody hear me okay? So thanks everybody. We've been experimenting a little bit with some of the virtual events. We're really just getting started, but I think we put together a pretty good program for the summer. So let's see if I can share my screen and show you some of the fun things that we've got planned. That up. All right. So what we decided to do was to design a summer passport, if you will. This is an idea that we've borrowed from other units who've done something similar. And in essence, what we try to do is we designed it around two awards that the Cub Scouts could earn, one being the Outdoor Activity Award, and the other one being the Summertime Pack Award. So this is the passport, the way that it looks. And the first thing that I'm going to talk a little bit about is the Summertime Pack Award. And in essence, to get that one, a scout has to participate in a pack activity during the months of June, July, and August. So what we did for June was we decided to do a virtual hike day. So what we're doing for that is coming up in about a week and a half, everybody's going to go for a hike with their family. We're not going to be doing it together. If small groups want to do that, they can, but we're going to be doing it separately. And then at the end of the day, in the evening, we're going to have a Zoom meeting where everybody can participate and share their experiences. So we created a bingo scavenger hunt sheet of fun things that the scouts can try to find while they're on their hike. So can you find a rock you can stand on, or an insect, or something purple? So that's something they can use while they're doing that hike. And then at the same time, we're also launching the PAC 988 hiking challenge. And so for that, basically, there's kind of two components to it. The first one is an individual challenge where scouts go on hikes either with the unit or with their families. And then we have an online hiking log set up. And I've borrowed those ideas from other folks that I've seen online that do it. Just set up a Google document. It was pretty easy to do. And, kind of honor system, people can record their own miles hiked. And then the Scout Shop, I talked to them. They've got a bunch of different patches and stuff that you can earn for different milestones, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way up to 100 miles. And what we decided is at 50 miles, then they could win, they could earn a hiking staff. And then at the same time, we're doing a pack hiking goal for the entire unit. So we're going to do sort of like you see for those fundraiser type things where you have like a temperature bulb. And as we meet different milestones, we're going to kind of try to continue that excitement and report back to the unit about how we're doing with that. And when we reach that 500 mile goal as a whole pack, we'll have some sort of treat at an upcoming pack meeting. So that's what we're doing in June. In July, we're going to do a virtual camp out. So sort of similar to what Free Fires did for the camporee. Everybody Saturday is going to pitch their own tent in their backyard or their basement. Even though we're going to be apart, we're going to still do some fun stuff together. The basic plan is we're going to have recommended menus for both dinner and breakfast, as well as a s'more type treat as well that families can prepare during our first Zoom meeting, which will be a campfire. Den leaders are going to prepare and present skits and songs. And hopefully that won't be too chaotic with everybody on there, but we think that's going to be fun. And then we'll have a closing meeting on Sunday to sort of recap the weekend's activities. And I think we're going to do sort of a short version of Scout Vespers service for that as well. So I think that's going to be pretty neat. And then for August, we actually have two different ideas planned. To win the award, Scouts have to do one of the two. The first is a fishing derby. So over a 10-day period, they have to go one time to go fishing with their family, and then post pictures on our Facebook page. And we'll come up with awards for like the most fish caught, the biggest fish, etc. And obviously, again, honors system on that is kind of the plan. And then the other thing that we're planning, and we wanted to have two events just in case something happened, we weren't able to do this Blue and Gold picnic. Because of course we don't know exactly how things are going to go. But the idea is we're planning our Blue and Gold. We were not able to have our banquet, which would have been in March, where we normally do rank up and crossover for the Weeblo 2s and all of that. So we're going to try to do a picnic where we're doing a BYOF, bring your own food. We'll have some traditional picnic games, awards, crossover, etc. So we're planning to do that in August. So if a scout does one of those events in June, the one in July, and one of the two in August, they can win the Summertime Pack Award. And then the last part is the Outdoor Activity Award. And that one, there's a separate sheet that goes with that because that one's a little more involved. So in order to win that, they have, or earn that, they have to either go to Cub Scout Day Camp if they want to do that, or we've decided that our pack overnight counts as that for that as well. There's a specific rank specific elective that they have to do to earn that, and we're planning to do meetings with individual dens to help them achieve those with den leaders, either virtually or in person if we can, everybody's comfortable doing that. And then they have to do, depending on the rank, 4 to 7 of these different outdoor activities that you can see here. So I won't go through all those obviously, but if anybody wants to ask more about that later, by all means, send me a note and we can do that. So that's what we're doing. I didn't want to take too much time, so I was talking pretty quickly, but if anybody has any questions, I'll be on at the end.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. That was a really good presentation there. Some great information. One of the questions we're getting in the Q&A during his presentation is whether or not we would be able to post everything, and the answer is yes. So we'll be able to post everything on our TFC digital resources page, which again you can find if you go to the main page of the threefirescouncil.org website. Go to the COVID-19, TFC COVID-19 updates, and that'll have all the digital resources. We'll post the roundtable, all the materials from tonight and the presentation. So we got a lot more this month, and we'll make sure that we get it all up there. We're gonna go to Eric Grant now. Eric and his PAC 157 have done some really great things as well. One of the things they did early on was a letters of compassion, and they were sending these out to frontline workers, our heroes, and we're going to give him a chance to talk a little bit about his programs and some of the different things he's done. He's got some unique ideas, and I believe some ideas that'll help with membership as well, kind of a peer-to-peer recruitment and a game process that he'll be able to use too. All right, we'll turn it over to Eric. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, okay, hi. Thanks for having me over to present this. So unfortunately, I'm just calling in from my phone. I had a little bit of technical issues, but thanks for pulling up the slides. So I'm Eric Grant. I came through the Cub Scout program at 157, earned my Eagle Scout and OA membership at Troop 62, and I'm back over at Cub Scout Pack 157, so that's been pretty fun. So on to the next slide. We wanted to talk about how we're going through with the COVID situation, and I thought it was just really important to make sure that we understand some inspirational thoughts, and so that's why I put that on my next slide. I'm not sure if that's able to come up or not, so I'm just going to go through. It's important to understand that we can only do as we think. So that's really one of the main things that I try to teach the scouts that go through our program. So really stressed going through how to figure out how to do scouting during this time, that God is only giving us opportunities. So he's giving us opportunities to find different ways to do things. And also that we use our skills to make our own path. And that's pretty much what we started to do. So our COVID situation actually found our solution back in January. In December, I ended up having our first award ceremony where I had a whole bunch of scouts coming up to me asking me how are they going to make up their advancements and their achievements. And we had just started in September. So I had to do some quick thinking, and I came up with this Google Online Forms situation where our scouts can actually continue to make up their adventures and their achievements using the Google Online Form platform. And we rolled that out in January, and it's worked really well with our scouts so far. And as it turns out, the online Google form happened to be just an easy way for us to continue what we are normally doing with our Cub Scout pack, but now we're just doing it online. And the Google form enabled the parents to know exactly how to do different adventures along with their scouts while they're at home. And basically what ends up happening is the parents will log in, look at what he's doing, and then basically they fill out the form as they're doing, and they submit the form. And I'll show you what happens in the form after within the next couple of minutes. But using the Google Forms has to continue basically our pack, move forward with achievements. We're in summertime right now, so we're doing all elective achievements, but our scouts were able to finish their ranks and also work on their Bobcat, all using the Google form, just doing everything online. It's been really, really handy. So from a more administrative type of a look on the next slide, the Google form gives us some really nice automatic tracking features for the advancements. So I'm not sure if we can go on to the next slide. But as the scouts finish their form, I get an email right away, so I know who's working on what automatically. And then all of their responses go directly into a spreadsheet. There we go. All of their responses go directly into a spreadsheet, so I can see exactly who's doing what. I can see what their responses are, and I can see how everyone's doing in terms of how they're doing with their advance. As far as being able to keep track who has achieved what in our pack, it's pretty much an automatic side. The really neat thing about the Google form is it enabled me to give the scouts immediate gratification for doing their achievements. So when the scout submits their form, when they're done with their achievement, they automatically get a certificate of completion. And so I made up the certificate of completions for all of the different adventures, and that is automatically sent to them so they can print it out. And they can keep that in their room. They can keep that wherever it is that they want to display their certificate. And then when we do finally get together later on this year, the scouts can bring that certificate to their den leader, and we can award them with the adventure loop. So it's a nice way to give the scouts something immediately, give them an award, and then later on, it's also a really easy way to keep track of who we need to give adventure loops to. Going on to the next slide, the way that I've rolled this out and implemented this, let's see, is through calendar invites. So we basically run our entire pack off of Google Calendar, or the Google platform. And I invite everyone to what we do through Google Invites. And it's been just a really great way to keep the families informed of where we're meeting, what time, and exactly what we are going to be doing while we're meeting. And what I do is I encourage people to accept the invites from the Google Calendar platform. If they do accept the invites, then they get an automatic update. If I have to change their calendar is automatically updated. If people are not using online calendars, then they can always just read the email. The shows up as they have all the information that they need, about what's in those Google invites. Going on to the next slide. Our meetings, which we're doing online, of course, have basically turned into a show and tell. So we keep our online meetings very short. I know that maybe some other packs are doing long meetings. I know that when our kids were actually in school, they were doing, like half hour to an hour long school. And we keep our packs, our meetings really short, and that's because our scouts just have a very short attention span. We have a very small pack of very young scouts, so their attention span is very small. So the little picture that's on the right side is a example of what I send out through the Google platform. And that tells our Bobcats they're working on Wash Your Hands video, which is where they say a Scout oath and Scout law while washing their hands. And so that gives them practice with saying the Scout oath and the Scout law, and it also makes sure that they wash their hands for the right amount of time. For this week, our Tiger adventure was the Good Night Adventure. So that little blue link right there would take the parents directly to the online form where they could go through and complete their adventure. And then underneath where it says show your shield and explain it, that's basically the show and tell version that we're doing during our pack meeting. So what we do with our pack meetings is we start off with Scout Oath and Law. I open just with a friendly introduction, just trying to get people comfortable being online and on the camera. Our younger scouts are pretty shy with being on the camera. As possible so that people and then we basically show what we prepared. So that's the show and tell of what each den did for their advancement. I briefly give a teaser about what's going to be coming up. So for instance, our next meeting is actually going to be a camping event where I'm encouraging everyone to camp in their backyard or camp in their house. And we'll be doing jokes and things like that. And then I end with basically letting the scouts talk about anything that they want to talk about. And we usually keep that pretty brief. So let's see, it looks like we're on the next slide already. So the parent communication has been really important, obviously. We've had a couple online parent meetings, and based on those meetings, we've basically determined that our Cub Scout Pack just wants to do online twice every month. So when this first situation started happening, I was really kind of I found out I was going overboard, and I was trying to put too much out for our pack because everyone was just basically trying to figure out life and how to work from home and how to get through school. So, and I basically found that out from just talking with the parents through online meetings. And so we basically twice a month, and we have another parent meeting that's coming up right after the rest of the summer. The other thing that I do that I think has been really helpful and really important is everyone gets a e-newsletter every week, and that's basically that you may not be able to see is an example of my email that's coming Saturday, 7 o'clock. They go out. I don't know how many people actually read them, but I imagine quite a few people do eventually get around to reading what I have going on in those emails. And then I do a ton of stuff on Facebook. Probably seen quite a few of my posts, and excuse me, my Facebook posts are mostly just for attracting new scouts who are in the community and just for reaching out and interacting with people who are not in our pack. We do have people in our pack that are interacting, but the majority of my Facebook posts are really kind of external, not as much internal. So that's what I have so far. The next slide are questions, and I'm not sure how we're going to do that. But if anyone has any questions, I am also looking at the live Q&A chat right now. Thanks for having me.
All right, I'm gonna talk Eric on the phone here too as we're going back. So thank you, Eric. Great job. And we'll read questions that we may have.
Thank you.
So as we're working through these things, we do have a question.
Yeah, Ron, we've got one question. Do we know how long Cub Scouts can earn achievements for the 2019-2020 Scout year? is there a cutoff time since they haven't been able to meet as much this spring?
Yeah, they can earn them through the summer. I believe it's July 1st that they can earn them till. So let us make sure that we have the exact date, but you can always get dates on all the advancement at on the council website, and there's a ton of updates there on it for everything to do in the back. But you do have an extension this year into the summer. Okay, so keep the questions coming. We'll keep doing our best to monitor those, and I'm going to Sean Walters now.
Hey, thanks, Ron. Hi, everybody. Sean Walters, Potawatomi District Commissioner. I am thrilled to be here. It's just fantastic. Talking about Cub Scout Day Camp. Yes, it is on for this summer, and yes, we have additional space available. So if you Cubs not registered, it's too come on out and want to help us as a volunteer. We would love to have you. Of course, we're going to be taking extra precaution, following all the guidelines, hand sanitizers, disinfecting surfaces, everything that we need to be sure and have some safe fun. It all start in July. So if you were previously registered in June, working with those units to bring them up to July. Of course, we're going to have other options for you. If you decide not to go to day camp this summer, we can apply that money toward a future event or even take a donation. If you've got any questions, please contact Patrick Seaton at TFC website. And finally, if you're not sure about this, we've got another option for you. It's just a phenomenal resource for us. That summer camp fun with activities and just have a great time in your backyard. If you go to backyard levels, they even send you some of the so you can have fun with your family. All right, that's it from me, from Sean. I'm going to pass it back to Ron.
All right, and I'm back. So we have some important membership updates. Last month, we did a great Zoom meeting with Jay Herzog, our Vice President of Membership for the Council, and then Tanya Carver, who's our Council Fall Cub Scout Recruitment Chair. And they went through the guide where all of those with the stay-at-home is that we need the units to all of our past have do a job with virtual things and stuff like that, but we need to be able to reconnect with our families and make sure that we understand where they're at and get them prepared to be comfortable coming back in the fall. Here's some things that we're working on for the fall membership campaign as well to help out the PAC. We continue to contact all the PACs to work with you to set dates. So we realize that the beginning of school may be a little precarious right now, but you pretty much know when your schools are going to start, or at least know the history. So we'd like to plan and make sure that we're picking a date. And then the other part of this is we understand that schools are going to be a little hesitant to give us use of the buildings and may not let us in. So what we're looking to do is try to do a recruitment or rally outside. So it'll require a little bit of planning, maybe bring a pop-up, some type of dining fly or tarp, and then we probably need to pick a rain date as well. So maybe one a week later. We'll still support with flyers, and we're going to have yard signs and posters and all those great things. And then we're going to have to be a little creative about some of the materials and resources we use this year too. We realize that you know, we're not going to have complete access like we have, so we're going to look at digital platforms. We did get notification last week that we're going to be again for our national office, and we'll be able to geofence, which will pop up information about a recruitment. It's an in-person recruitment or a virtual recruitment, so we'll be able to do both as well. How can we do some recruits well? One thing that we've been kicking around is community campers, and we're putting together some guidance and some program ideas. A community campfire where you do it at a local forest preserve or park district camping area, and then invite friends and neighbors and people from the community and tell them about scouting. We think if they have this, they get to try it before they buy, and they come and see what fun you're having in Cub Scouts, and they'll want to be around their friends and participate in the program. We think that'll be a good thing as well. We can ticket to any new scout that joins this fall. The one thing that's holding that up is we're not sure when the start of the season is going to be, since the NBA is trying to finish this the last season, and then we need to find out the start of the new season. People are excited about it, and it should be incentive to fencing. And then one of the other things we're working on is a promotional door hanger. So we're working in conjunction with our popcorn committee, and they're going to institute a plan if they have scouts that want to sell popcorn and do totally contactless popcorn sales. They'll be able to put a door hanger on people's doors. It'll direct them to the online sales, but on the back side of membership station and direct them to scouting as well. So we're excited about that. Timber Pumpkin Fest. That'll be another great opportunity for us to invite people out in the community. I scout before they join, so that'll be a good thing. And for any newly recruited scout, maybe they're uncomfortable going to recruitments or going to in-person meetings yet, so we're working on some of those virtual opportunities for them. That PAC recruitment guide that Tanya told you about last month, we have that all ready to go, and we're putting that up on the website. We're going to have all kinds of links and materials that'll be able to help you grow your PAC this fall. One more thing, update your Be a Scout pin. There's been some new updates to this from the national office. They put in some new capabilities. I need you to go in and log in and make sure that information is up to date and current. Make sure you have a good contact person with contact information, so you'll be able to answer questions from anyone looking to join. Did we have a question?
Not about membership, but there's a couple of camp questions if you'd like to jump to those when you're done.
So we're going to, as I end here, I'm going to go into, we're going to show you a video. We have one last thing. So let me do the video first and then come back. Is that all right? Okay. So last thing here, Corey Wild, who's our Vice Chair of Membership for the Potawatomi District, has a really great promotional opportunity to help us promote Cub Scouts this fall. And she needs our help. So I'm going to turn it over to Corey on this video. So let's play the video.
Greetings from the far west part of the council. My name is Corey Wild, and I'm a volunteer and part of PAC 118 in Sycamore, as well as the membership person for Potawatomi District. We all know about the challenges we'll be facing with our fall recruitment, and we each have unique skills to bring to the table. I, for instance, used to work in broadcasting and have a way to promote our recruitment campaign throughout our council area for free, but I need your help. If you could please let your units know we are now accepting submissions to put together a series of radio public service announcements and put our own local flair in them. There is a button on your district's homepage and an informational form that I will use to mix up ages, scouts, and areas. What I'm looking for is an audio recording of your scouts telling about their favorite part of scouting or their favorite scouting story. Video can be used as well, but I'll only pull audio from the submission. It's okay if they fumble a little bit through it. Everything can be edited in the end, and every scout name and information will remain confidential. I appreciate your willingness to help us out as quickly as you can. Who knows, maybe your Scout story will be immortalized on the air all over Northern Illinois. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Corey. We understand we're running a roundtable tonight, and we may have had some issues there, but hopefully that video, we're going to post that video, and if it was buffering or anything like that. So back to the camp questions. I guess we had several questions about Weeblo's resident camp up at Camp Freeland Leslie. So we are planning to do that. We have the 2 sessions. The date one little bit so that we can put the 2 sessions. We can put the 2 in 1 week near the end of our. We're planning to modify that program a little bit. We'll have small groups, or what we're calling cohorts, and that's kind of how the Scouts BSA resident camp is going to run, and the Weeblo's resident camp run the same way. With your cohort, you'll have time to get to camp, and then you'll set up camp, and you'll travel around camp with program. You're still going to get to all the program areas, work on achievements, and have a lot of fun things. We're going to have evening programs we've worked out. It just won't be a big, opening campfires. The campfires will be in your site with your cohort, and different modifications like that. We'll still have face masks or buffs for every scout that attends Weeblo's resident camp. We'll have hand sanitizer. We'll do extra cleanings. All those cautions. We're going to have more information coming out on all the camp information on day camps and Weeblo's resident camp as well. We're looking at leaders forum next Thursday that will have more information about that as well. So stay tuned for those. We'll get you that information. I'm going to go right into popcorn now. More specifically, we're going to talk about fundraising tonight. This will be the main feature of tonight. We have a special guest speaker, but one of our big for the year is obviously the fall popcorn sale. And I want to give you just a couple of updates on that, and I'm going to turn it over to our special presenter. We are looking forward to holding a fall popcorn sale. We will have some changes, some best practices, some cautions, obviously, in place to ensure safety of our volunteers, our families, and our customers. So one thing we need you to do right now is to register for the 2020 popcorn sale. We've sent out some different reminders to the Trails for you to just sign up. That's important so that we get the information for your popcorn kernel, and we include them on all of our mailings. And we're going to do a little bit more communication over the summer than we normally would. So we want to make sure that we have that information as soon as possible. So please register. If you have not sold in a while or sold in the past as well, this is a fundraiser, and this is the year to do it. As I mentioned before, maybe you had a spring fundraiser that didn't happen, or because of the stay-at-home order or something. This will be a good way for you to do that. And we have lots of options for you with online sales and door-to-door sales. I think be for everyone. Our product line we simplified a little bit this year, and we will have more products online. So a little bit more. We haven't had all the products online this year. We will, and then our normal probably bring in and have in person will be simplified a little bit. We won't have as many products, but we do have 2 brand new offerings. There's going to be a blazing hot and then an unbelievable butter. The unbelievable butter though will be pre-popped in a bag we eat for the customers. And then with our Trails End app again this year, we'll be able to monitor all the sales, and you'll be able to transfer product between units, and we'll do that even by the can this year. So a new change there. We will have suggested safety precautions available for storefront sales, door-to-door sales, and then also for distribution of the product. As I mentioned in the membership portion, we'll also have that door hanger, and that'll primarily be a popcorn message so that the scouts can can go and do a contactless sale. If they miss someone, they'll be able to put it on their door, but then they can also canvass a neighborhood and make sure that they have information for the customers to go to the online store. And with that, I'm going to introduce Alan Boyce. So Alan Boyce is a special presenter tonight. He is our council popcorn chair, and he has been for over 10 years. He's done a great job for us. Tonight, a little bit about the ideal year of scouting, how to put together a good program plan, a good budget plan, and then how fundraising ties into that. And he's also going to share some different fundraising options. So popcorn is obviously a huge fundraiser in the Three Fires Council. We're one of the best councils popcorn sales, but we want to share some additional options as well. With that, Alan.
Thank you, Ron. Yes, my name is Alan, Council Popcorn, which makes me the perfect person to talk about fundraising tonight. Fundraising is an essential part of every unit's operations of scouting. Now, what scouts, all of your leads, things like campouts, maybe special adventures, maybe some pack hikes, maybe bringing in a guest speaker for a pack meeting, things of that nature. Now, those all have an expense associated with them. You don't want to have to pay dues every month to fund your adventures, and that's where fundraising can help out for all of your families, and who wouldn't like that? Do deal every 2 months, have a good, successful fundraiser to help provide your ideal year of scouting. Okay, so what are some of the different fundraisers out there? Of course, my accounts, as Ron mentioned, council website to sign up for that, and then you will be getting all of the information that is available to you. That you have the full support and backing of the council with that. So what does that mean? That means that the council takes care of ordering all of the product, storing and distributing the product for you, printing all of the sales materials, the sales flyers, all the sales information, also offering a prize program, okay? In addition, it's virtually no risk with the popcorn sale. We do have returns available so that you're not have leftover product after the sale. So again, that's available to all of our units. And again, like I mentioned, very little risk, okay? Now, what are some of the other fundraisers out there that units do? I have a list here of some of the most popular. So other fundraisers are things like a community garage sale, maybe a cakewalk or an auction, gift basket auctions, things like pancake breakfast, spaghetti dinners, fish fries, the U.S. flag project, doing car washes, parking lot attendance for concerts, football games, or different community events, recycling programs, walkathons, litter pickup, greenery, holiday wreath, plant sales, things of that nature, okay? So those are some other different types of fundraisers that are out there. So again, you want to just make sure you have a quality fundraiser. Just do it once a year, spend a few months, and help pay for your program so that everybody can enjoy it the rest of the year. Now, I mentioned at the beginning a process called the ideal year of scouting. So hopefully everybody is familiar with that. I know in our popcorn kickoffs, that's something I've been talking about for a few years here. So I just want to go over the 5 steps of ideal year of scouting. And they include a planning program, assigning costs to these events, setting your budget, fundraising goals for both scouts, communicate the plan, and then execute the plan and raise the money. Okay, so those are the 5 steps for your achieve the ideal year of scouting. So step 1, your program, brainstorming. Get together with your scouts, maybe at a pack meeting. Actually, right now is doing this. We're not meeting in person, but a part of a virtual den meeting, things like that. Have your scouts brainstorm I know most packs, get together really with going from September through May. So during the summer is kind of a downtime, but this is when you want to be planning your next year, okay? So that when you get together in August or September, you've got a whole year's worth of activities planned out. And how do you do that? Brainstorm, ask your scouts what they like to do. Check with your leaders, parents, things that they've heard or maybe they've experienced that they think would be fun for your unit. And then pick events you'd like to do during the course of the year, okay? And what you want to do is really fill up your calendar. When you come together in September, you've got activities planned for September, October, November, all the way through May of next year. So once you've determined what those activities are going to be, what your monthly program is going to be, just be put that on your that month. Maybe invite you to a magic show. Okay, how much will it cost to have a performer come in and do that? So for everything that you had planned, just come up with a ballpark of what you think that expense would be, and then that will for your year, and from there you can help determine what your fundraising goals are going to be. Okay, so step 3 is setting those fundraising goals for both your unit and your scouts. Now there's a great tool that we've made available called the Program Planner. I think that's on your screen right now, so you can see what that is. Basically, that is just a one-page Excel spreadsheet. So if you don't do anything right now with your unit, if you haven't been doing anything so far, this is a great way to get started. This is actually something that I learned about at one of my first popcorn kickoffs as a popcorn colonel about 12 years ago. And at that time in my unit, we did not do a whole lot of planning ahead. Basically, we would meet in September and plan what we want to do in October. So it really wasn't anything on a calendar. Nobody really knew what until the month before. I learned about this one-page plan, and again, we brainstormed, came up with ideas, and started planning ahead and planning a year of activities. You just scouts are in your unit. You can even include additional expenses, such as a rechartering expense. Maybe if you have any kind of dues or things like that, you can then add those at the bottom of the sheet as well. And then this spreadsheet will then calculate all of the expenses fundraising goal needs to be. Now for the popcorn, is 30%. So once you have your total cost on there, it will then help calculate what you need to raise in your popcorn sale so that you can fund that program. Okay. So again, those of you with units that do have budget, great. That is fantastic. If you don't have anything, this is again just great, simple way to get goals set. And again, that spreadsheet will also break it down to your per scout goal as well. When you get step 4 is to communicate the plan. So everybody's been on summer. We're getting back together in August and September, having our program kickoff. Everybody, what is on the calendar for scouting? A lot of fun things. Again, if you've used your scout input, they see things on the calendar that's their idea. So maybe something that they did with their family and they loved it, and now they can see that, hey, we're going to do it as a pack. Okay. So again, it'll get them excited to see what's planned. Okay. Again, it also helps parents as well. If you can't plan for November, let people know in August or September. We'll help them put that on the calendar so that they don't plan things for that weekend. Okay, they know that they've got a camp out coming up on this weekend in November, so they plan for it so that they don't have other family activities. So you want to communicate, again, let everybody know, first of all, it's a great program, a lot of fun activities. So things that everybody can look forward to. And then from there, you can talk about the fundraising and how the fundraising will then help support all of those activities that you have planned. Ideally, if you have a successful fundraising sale, it will pay all of the expenses so that there will be no out-of-pocket expenses for your parents. Of course, that is a great goal to have. I know usually you won't quite make it there, but again, if you can reduce the out-of-pocket expenses for your families, everybody likes that, okay? So again, make sure you communicate the plan. Everybody on the calendar so that they have something to look at. And of course, is to execute the plan and raise the money, okay? So again, you're gonna go out, everybody knows what their goal is for your fundraiser, okay? On a popcorn sale, maybe each scout's goal is $400. I know we talk about different ways, to raise the money for that, how they can reach their goal. Make sure everybody knows what the goal is, especially your unit goal, okay? And again, communicate throughout the course of your sale so that people know how close you're getting. Let them know, hey, we're halfway there. Everybody keep going. We, got a beautiful weekend. Let's go out there, sell some popcorn and help us reach that goal. And again, once you've executed that, everybody has a great program. You have planned, you follow through on. You do all of activities on your calendar, maybe even a few more, who knows? But everybody has a great program. And again, your scouts are happy, leaders are happy, parents are happy, okay? And the ideal year of scouting is also great for recruiting and retention as well. So if you think about it, when the kids go, had a camp out on the weekend, go to on Monday, talk to their friends that maybe aren't in Cub Scouts, all about it, and all of them another scout that says, hey, I'd like to join. It sounds like they have a lot of fun. And when their kids are having fun, then the parents are having fun. The ideal year of scouting, that's what of course we want every unit to have, because that means you're having a quality program that is enjoyed by everyone, okay? All right. Any questions or anything? All right. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ron Wenzel.
Thank you, Alan. Great job. And Alan really knows unit fundraising too, and he's a great resource. So we can connect you with him. I know he's always happy to talk to units about popcorn, and then about how unit fundraising fits into their program. So I'm gonna try to take a stab here at a couple of these questions. And we've had a little bit of issues with choppiness tonight, and we've tried to address that as we've been going. Again, we'll post everything and make sure that it's available, and then you always have us as resources if you have questions. There was a question about the program format for in-person day camp. So we're still going to have a great experience, a great program. We've obviously bumped our camp back into July, as Sean told you about earlier, and we're going to make as much of the program experience available as we can. The differences you'll see will be how we travel around camp, and you'll be in a smaller group, like a den we would typically call it, but it won't be more than probably 20 or so. You'll have a staff member assigned and some adult leaders with you, but then you'll travel around the day camp to the different program areas with that group. That's the group that you would stay with for lunch and stay with for any of the other activities. We won't have the big group gatherings or big group activities as we typically would have at day camp. Drop off and pick up will be a little bit different too. There will be some questions we'll obviously ask before you get to camp, making sure that you don't have any symptoms or a fever or anything like that before coming to camp. But if you're good and healthy, you attend camp, you'll be able to kids off. We'll do some type of check-in, so it's more contactless and more remote as far as a check-in. You kind of drive up, we'll get them into their groups, and then you'll be able to drive off. And we'll do the same type of thing with the pickups as well. So putting a lot of those precautions in place. Again, with day camps, everyone will have a buff that they'll be able to wear, so masks, and then we'll have hand sanitizer for everyone. Plenty of hand washing stations and different sanitizers to sanitize. There was a question about specific CFL Webelos resident camp meeting. I believe we've addressed some of this with some of the CFL meetings. We do have some specific plans, as I mentioned before, about how we'll run the CFL Webelos resident camp. And we'll make sure that we answer any questions that you have as well. We'll check into a specific meeting. That'll be communicated with everyone that signed up, obviously, but we're going to communicate it out widely too, because we still have spaces in any of those camp opportunities, and we'll want to get some additional people there. Last one, virtual camp activities and whether or not they'll be aligned with rank requirements. There will be some of that, obviously, just like what we would have in some of our normal day camps, but it won't all be specifically tied. If you want to limit, some part of this backyard scouting program will be just to get out and do some activities outside. They may or may not always have something to do specifically with rank, but there will be a lot of the activities that directly tie back to achievements or parts of your rank advancement. With that, I'm going to turn it over to, I'm going to let Zach wrap up for us. I'm going to make him run up here real quick just because I've been talking too much tonight. I'm going to let Zach wrap it up for us tonight, but I just want to say thank you. Appreciate everyone participating and tuning in tonight.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. I hope you were able to get a lot of good content out of tonight. Understand there were issues with some of the audio. Everything that we talked about and everything that we shared tonight, we will make sure is posted on our webpage. We will put it up there with the other Roundtable resources and digital content that we have. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. Hear a little bit about what we can do to get back to scouting. And that's really what we're hoping for. As the weather is breaking and we're spending more time outside with our families and able to be together, we're hoping that as a family of scouters, we're going to be able to get back together. And we know there's going to be some restrictions with that and group sizes and the things that we can do. And it may not look like a traditional summer experience that we're all used to or that we've had in the past. But we're going to do our best to make that a positive experience for your scout and your family as well this summer. So stay tuned for more of those opportunities and keep scouting.